Okay. It is Wednesday night. Good evening, guys. Good evening. All right. So, welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30. Oh, no, we're not doing this thing with the light tonight. What is going on? Let me try to turn that way. What is going on with my light tonight? What's up? What's going on here? Okay, let me see if that does it. That takes care of it. Okay. Every Monday, Wednesday. What is going on with my light here? That is crazy. I'm not digging that. What is going on with my lighting? Let's see what we got here. All right, so every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 to 10:30. Y'all have to excuse me. I have no idea what is happening with the light here. Why it keeps going in and out like that. I'm not digging that. Let me try to fix that. Is it the above light? Every time I say Wednesday, just say Friday. Every time I say Wednesday, the light goes out. I listen. I have no idea what's going on. Who knows with these cameras here? But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and let's see. I guess it did whatever it did. But yeah. So we're on. I am here. I am live every Wednesday and Friday. Friday, of course, the wife joins me. Monday, I forgot to replay, so please forgive me. I think it's me moving. That's what it is. It's adjusting. So let me sit my behind still. So, and I am Keith K.L. Belvin. See, right? See, Wednesday goes out. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, and every week, let me take this off. Braving caps, baby. Braving caps. There we go. Put that back there. Yeah, that's it. I gotta sit still because I think it's the light shining off my head. I'm starting to figure it out. Anyway, but I'm a crisis specialist, and I come on every week to be able to share some different things that's going to bring some fun and some information into your life. Let me see if I can switch it over here. Let me see if I move it over this way. If that'll work. Let's see if that will take this what's name off. I'm not digging this light. This light part is really driving me crazy. I am not digging that. Nope. And it doesn't happen other times. I'm not even sure what's going on. Let me see something here. Well, now it's too dark. I ain't digging that, and it's still going. Nope. It's the above light. That's what it is. It's the light shining off my head. The cameras are trying to adjust to my head. That's what. How about that? All right. There we go. I'm just going to try to. I'm paying the price for looking like Mr. Clean tonight. So y'all have to bear with me. I'll try to figure out what's going on with the light. Because if I turn that light off, it's going to be way too dark. Anyway, guys, listen. Let's get this started tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about 9 useful tips. Hey, what's going on, Johnny? What's going on, Kurt? Great to have you guys here. And I'm not on my computer tonight, so I don't get to see all of the responses because the internet is down in our area. So normally when I'm on my phone, I'm able to use my computer to look at all of the responses. Yeah, it's disco time. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know, Kim. It's going to feel like Studio 54 up in here. So I'm going to try to... I noticed that if I sit still, it's the light bouncing off my head. And my camera's trying to adjust it. See, look, it's my head. So I try to put a hat on. Let me see if I put the hat back on. Let's see what happens here. If that no. Okay, so if I sit still, maybe put the hat on, it doesn't shine off my head. So let's see what happens. But hey, how we doing, Kim, Johnny, Kurt? What's going on, guys? So yeah, it's definitely I gotta sit still. I will try to do that tonight. It's difficult for me. But we're talking about 9 useful tips when setting boundaries with your ex. Shout out to Latoya who sent me this. I got a chance to watch. I didn't get a chance to finish watching the Steve Harvey video, but I'm like, okay, I'll do some research and put some stuff together. And it's very difficult without the internet because I can't get around on my phone like I do on my computer. But I was like, okay, I'll make it happen one way or the other. So we're good. And I wanted to be able to ship. So we're going to go through 9 tips tonight. And I am not going to lie, I'm beat tonight because I have been grinding something awful. So before I get into everything, let me just first say, hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Do not forget that the Braven raffle is up and running. It'll run up until Black Friday, and on Black Friday show, we will do we will draw the raffles and all the prizes and get in touch with everybody on Friday, Black Friday. That's November 27th. Now, if going into November 27th, hey, Nikki, now we need at least a minimum of 10 people to be able to do the raffle. So if we don't have 10 people, if whoever's paid up until that point will just return your money, you'll have it for the holiday and we'll go from there because it's, it's the price point that we set and we go from there. So we'll see what happens. So, but with that said, let's get into tonight. 9 useful tips when setting boundaries with your ex. And this is interesting for me because I didn't have too many breakups where it was like everything was cool. Most time if we broke up, it was because something happened and created the issue. Why not White Thursday? Because it's Thanksgiving on White Thursday and we will be celebrating nothing. We'll just be here. I don't know. I think Tip is inviting some people over. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be that many because I don't play the getting together part with COVID and all of that, but we'll see. So also, if you try to do a show on Thursday and everybody is with family or stuck in the house, we might, who knows, because the fact that a lot of people will not be able to spend time with their family members, it might be a great time. I'm not doing no show on Saturdays. Saturdays and Sundays is my mellow days. I don't do too much social media on Saturdays and Sundays. I take it easy. I try to get everything in Monday through Friday, and I just do a lot of my paperwork as well as I have a couple of sessions on Saturday, not many. And Sunday I definitely don't do anything. I just relax and do progress reports to get them all done by Monday night. And whatever I don't finish, I finish up Monday night. All right, guys, so we're going to get started. We got a ways to go. Well, for the raffle, we'll see. I'm going to figure out what's going on because, listen, if we don't have enough people going into that week, I don't know. Might have to shut it down, but we'll see. We'll definitely take it from there and see what we can do, Kim. That'll be interesting. So I'll definitely keep all you guys in the know what's happening one way or the other. All right. Yes. Well, Kim is on point. You know exactly where I'm going, Kim. Number 1. All right. Here we go. 9 useful tips when setting boundaries with your ex. And, real quick, Toya, with that situation, first of all, if your ex is stalking you, I would confront them, but we'll talk about that because I'm like, what you creeping around for? All right. Number 1, give yourself time without your ex. If it is at all possible. Give yourself time without your ex. It doesn't have to be forever, obviously, but give yourself a month or 2 without seeing or talking to them can help create the clear line between what you once had and what you are now trying to create. Why it got to be black? Okay, yeah, listen. The Friday after Thanksgiving, there we go. We're going to take the color out of it, Kim. I ain't mad at you. The Friday, I'm with you. The Friday, he didn't set that boundary and she needed to make that clear to him. Exactly. So here we go. Give yourself time without your ex. And I'm a believer in that. If y'all broke up and now it's done and it's officially done, I think you should give yourself time, cut off all. Well, see, I'm a little bit different. I've been doing the research and I'm realizing that a lot of people that write these lists or do these things, I'm like, slave selling day. I agree. I got you. I definitely understand that. I'll keep that in mind, Kim. Appreciate you reminding me of that. I needed that. I personally don't see the need to have to set boundaries because I'm not messing with you. And if you want to go back, no. But I do understand that some people need to have that conversation. So I would suggest, like number 1 says, give yourself time. Give yourself time away from the person that you just got a relationship, especially if it was a long relationship. Give yourself time. Don't talk to them. Give yourself room to breathe because you clearly want to set the lines in place that's necessary so your partner understands, hey, Tony, your partner understands what's going on, or your ex-partner understands what's going on. Give yourself that room. It's necessary. That's an invisible boundary. That's not even one that you got to discuss. That's just simply, listen, I'm ghost. And you'll figure it out after a while, and that's it. Because both people don't separate the same, even if it's mutual. Two people don't separate the same. One may be completely done. One may be almost done. Just curve them for a good couple of months. I'd say about 4 to 5 months. But the article that I was reading said about 2 to 3. I would actually say, listen, unless you have to, unless y'all have kids, I really don't want to have too much to say to you in a minute. All right. So with that said, because I think a lot of things, there's also variables that have to be taken into consideration. You have to take into consideration is why y'all broke up. And again, this is on the assumption if it's mutual. If it's negative, then everything goes out the window. You don't have anything to do with them. But if it's mutual, and again, I'm going to lay that caveat on the table, that if it's mutual, then you want to apply some of these things here. But if it starts to get a little crazy, a little uneasy, and it starts to become a little dark, then, listen, you always got to protect yourself. And also remember, not everybody deals with breakup well. A lot of people don't. They say they do, or they try to. A lot of people don't. Don't write, don't call, don't email me. Definitely no flowers. Oh, without question, stop. It's done. And like I said, if you're done and they're not, just keep that in mind. But make sure that those boundaries are clearly set. Okay? Number 2, guys. Here we go. Number 2. Moving on. Number 2. Block them if you need to. Now, this one is a no-brainer. But if your ex is bothering you to the point you need to block them, you probably won't respect your boundaries to maintain a relationship anyway. But you might be feeling the urge to give in and reach out to them when you're taking some time. If you start finding yourself creeping back to your ex, block them. Cut all connection off to them, not just for them, but for you. Let that go. It's done. Leave it alone. Because y'all broke up for a reason. And if you're the person that still has some feelings, block them even though you're the one with the feelings, just to close that door for yourself. Because when you block a person, you don't see anything from them. And after a while, out of sight, out of mind. But if you leave them on your page and you leave them access and what they're doing comes up in your timeline and things like that, don't bother with all that. That's a way to just keep at you. And it doesn't make any sense. I had to give my neighbor the flowers, and she sent a thank you note. That stuff. I like that, Kim. Give them to the neighbors. Hey, look what my ex bought you. I am so with that. But again, block them. And don't feel bad. Don't ever feel bad about blocking anybody on social media. I have talked to people who have trepidation. Oh, I didn't want to block. Man, listen, my block game is strong. You don't even have to do that much to get blocked. Especially if I don't know you. If I've never met you, I'll block you even faster. Get sideways and say something fresh. Block. Not know, I'm going to delete you. Like people like to give the whole disclaimer. I'm deleting 700 people today. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm deleting you and moving on. You know how you'll know you was deleted? When you go, I wonder what Keith is doing. Add friend. Yes, add friend. And that's it. You take it any way that you want to take it, because I'm not bothering with, oh, this is ridiculous. I can't, this light is driving me crazy. Now you got me looking at this light, Kim. I'm not sure what happened. So I'm not bothering with folks for no reason. And if you then get really sideways, block. No discussion, could you please stop? Block. And I might report your page too, just because. That's just me. Block on the cell too. I block people on the cell all the time. If we were only doing business and now we're not, you got to go. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? And Michelle, I like your answer in the Bible study group. I'll get to it in a little bit. I just didn't get a chance. My internet is down, and I've been doing so much on my phone. It's crazy. But thank you for responding in the Bible study group. But yes, do not be fearful. Do not have any trepidation. Block. Okay? Especially if they're bothering you. If they can't seem to get it that it's over, don't hesitate. And if you are starting to feel a little, I'm used to being with them, I want to see what they're doing, block yourself from them. I don't care. I'm not blocking. If you want to follow me, that's the way. I feel you, Kim. I feel you. I ain't mad at that. I am not mad at that. If that works, I don't want you in my business. There's too many people out there in the world for me to deal with than be dealing with you trying to figure out what I'm doing. I ain't got time for that. Look, you got to go. Take this hat off. I don't like wearing this hat in the house. And put it backwards. All right. Number 3, guys. Number three. And this is up my alley here. This is along my lines right here. And this light is driving me crazy. I don't know why it is doing this. Let me see if I can move this down some. This is crazy. I am not feeling this light going off here. It just, now you got me thinking about it. I'm so sorry. Okay, number 3. See a therapist if you need to. Some breakups are harder than others. Sometimes we know we need to get some. All right. Some breakups are harder than others. Sometimes we need to set boundaries, but we're not sure what they should be or how to do it. Sometimes we need to vent or work on some things to make sure we can see things clearly, or to rebuild, and how to figure out to get with different relationships with someone else. And this is where I come in. Because, yes, sometimes you might need to sit down with someone like myself to be able to say, hey, Keith, listen, I'm struggling a little bit, or I'm not sure what I'm going to do. How am I going to meet new people? We could talk about your feelings. We could talk about where you are. We could talk about a lot of things. And by speaking to somebody who doesn't have skin in the game, who's not emotionally connected, helps. Because then what that does, it allows you to speak freely. It allows you to speak openly. It allows you to get positive feedback. And it gives you a working plan, because that's what I do. And I talk to anybody, whether it's literary, whether it's personal, whatever it is. The goal is to give you something to work with. So when we get off the phone, you have something to go forward with. One guy broke up with me, then he started chasing. But yeah, that is definitely a bye Felicia moment right there, because it's like you don't get it. And some people, listen, depending on how long the relationship is, guys, some people don't know how to let go because they don't know how to start over. And they're fearful of starting over depending on who they are. And it's a catch-22, because when they're young, they don't have the emotional stamina to deal with breakups. And when they're older, they have fear of starting over, so they don't want to go anywhere. And that's male and female. Around here stalking or not understanding what boundaries are, putting pressure on the new relationship because they want the old relationship back. It's creepy to a degree, but it's understandable, and it happens. And trust me, you will, especially ladies, you will have the ex showing up once you start to show interest in other people or have a new man. All of a sudden, he magically wants to show up. And all he's showing up for is because he wants to see if he can still get it. He wants to see if he can put a crimp in what goes on. It's a super ego thing. Women will do the same thing, more so men, but often people will do that because they want to see if they can still have a special place in your heart, but they haven't changed. They just want in to be able to prove that they can get in. All right, number 4. Want to be nosy. That's true. They want to be nosy too. 10 years my senior, he was like a monkey swinging. I know that feeling. Hey, Tisha. I know that feeling, and that's true. Listen, it's their emotional maturity. Some people are not emotionally mature, and so they don't know what to do. Okay, number 4, here we go. Decide what boundaries you need right now. Sometimes boundaries are firm and will never change. Other times we need certain boundaries at one time and different ones at another. So figure on which boundaries you need right now, and don't worry about the fact that they may change in the future. Hey, Tisha. And yes, set the boundaries that you need right now. Whatever they are, set them. Make sure that your ex knows that this is what you need right now. Can that change? Yes. If y'all develop a friendship and things are solid, okay, maybe they can change. If it starts to get worse, those boundaries are going to change, and you're now going to be like, we're going to have to change these boundaries. Remember, it's about what works for you. And you want to put that in place and have that in place because, again, this is to help you move on to where you need to be. It is not about them. These boundaries are in place for them to go ahead and do them with their lives, because remember, that's not your concern. If y'all have children, okay, you have children, so you have to deal with somebody. But you still want to set the boundaries, because even though if you have children, that doesn't give the person the right to be in your business or to dictate your life in any way. Doesn't make any sense, and it's not the case. And you want to, again, make sure that that is clear, make sure that that is understood, and once you have that in place, you're fine. And I think it's important because we assume a lot in relationships. We assume a lot in breakups. Make sure your boundaries are clear and fit where you are right now in your life. If you tied too much into your significant other, you may have to clean that up. Them boundaries have to be, they got to be super consistent, Toya. Let me tell you something. That was what changed my whole relationship with my ex-wife. Because at first it was a whole lot of back and forth. It was a whole lot of yelling and screaming. And the only ex I get along with is Elliot's father. Jason's on the other hand. I could bury him. I understand, Kim. Don't bury nobody in cement. I don't want to see you going to jail. My ex-wife used her house, because I would come into her house and had to break from a guy who was all about himself and heck with what I needed to want. There you go, Michelle. And so when I would come into her house, that's when she would start arguing. That's when she would be disrespectful. So what I learned quickly was that I wouldn't come in the house. I just stopped coming in the house, and I stopped talking to her. I would come to the door, knock on the door. She would say, "You want to come in?" "No, I'm good." And just let the boys know I'm outside. Now, she would take it out on the boys. I would sit in the car and just let her do what she was going to do. And it started to drive her crazy that I wouldn't talk. And so you can't come in? "No, I'm good." One word, short answers as possible, because what happened was I took back the control that she thought she had. And the boundary that I set for myself was, I'm not coming into your house. Because once I'm in her house, she's in complete control. Now, we were married for 8 years. But by not coming into the house, what can you tell me? What can you say to me? "Well, I want to talk to you." We can talk right here. Because the idea was, I'm not going to the house where you can sashay around. No, we're not doing that. And unless it's and I told her very early, unless it has to do with the boys, I don't want to talk to you. I don't care how you feel about that. If it don't have to do with these children, we don't have nothing to talk about. And the reason why is because I wanted to establish it. And I had started talking to Tiff early. And so my whole thing was, I remember she used to be very disrespectful to Tiff. Very. So I checked her early. And that's another thing. Any men watching or anybody, don't let your ex disrespect your current and think it's okay because they're your ex. No. The minute she started to disrespect Tiff, I checked it. And she had the nerve to say to me, you checking me over your new BITC? I said, "Watch your mouth." And I said, "You know me. I wouldn't let nobody disrespect you, and I'm not letting you disrespect my new lady. So watch your mouth." And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she knew I'm not playing. And here's the funny thing is, my sons don't know that I'm a former thug. They just see the smiley, happy, chubby pops. Sometimes when they're out in the street with me, they go, "Dad, how you know all these hoods?" Don't worry about that. My ex knew what I was in these streets. I don't know where the guys are tonight. There was a couple here. They were here. They sprinkle in and out. Y'all ladies scare them, Kim. y'all knowledgeable ladies scare some of these fellas. But my ex knew that I was a thug. When she started dating me, I was back and forth at my mother's house on Supton and 120th, Southside Jamaica, Queens. And I mean deep in the hood. And there wasn't a drug dealer and hood nigga that I didn't know. And there's a lot of things that I'm not proud of that I was involved in. So she always remembered that. So she would raise her voice, but always at a distance. So my son started to figure out, she only yelled at certain times. "Hey, T to the Y." There we go. There we got the regular. T to the Y is here. What's up, brother? Oh, we talking about, I got you, brother. 9 useful tips when setting boundaries with your ex, T to the Y. Nine useful tips when setting boundaries. I'll run them through you real quick. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, Big Dog, that's my nickname, but there's a lot of things that went on in South Jamaica. I was born in 40 Projects. I grew up in South Jamaica. I mean in the hood. I had to grow into the mature man that I am now. Like I said, I was knee deep in these streets and came this close to going to jail at 16, and my grandmother sent me to South Jersey to keep me from going to jail. That's actually what saved my life. If I had stayed in New York, I would have been locked up or dead. And so my ex knew that, but I would never put my hands on a woman. But I'm also not going to sit here and accept disrespect, and she knew that too. So she would push that. And I realized, no, you're not going to bait me into hitting you and then I go to jail. I'm going to go sit in this car quietly. My husband's ex-wife had the nerve to call to see what his child support was later years. Again, I told her she doesn't have the privilege of asking him or money to go to the same court. You feel exactly. And that's another thing, too. Let me just say this, too, guys. I have been to family court 6 times. I've never lost. Because of those 6 times, I only got dragged into court. The other 5 times I took myself because I took away the hammer. Oh yeah, right off of South Road in 157, Tisha, in the 3-story building. That was before York College was York College. I used to be right there off of Supton in 157, and then my family moved to 146 and 115. I got former heroin addicts in my family, all along Supton Boulevard, all the heroin addicts. And I knew them all, and the drug dealers. And then my mother got a spot on Supton at 120th, and the Lost Boys and all of that. I was a part of all of that. And yeah, so anyway, the most effective is to just cut them off entirely unless you have kids. That's one thing to do, Michelle, but the assumption tonight is if you and your ex had a mutual separation. If it's negative, then close the door. That's my belief. If it's negative, it's done. But we're assuming that it's mutual. That's what these tips are for. T to the Y, you came in tonight. Number one was give yourself time without your ex. Number 2 was block them if you need to. Number 3 was see a therapist if you need to. Number 4, decide what boundaries you need right now. That is where still cut them off. I got you. Okay, guys. So number 5. Let's go to number 5. I want to make sure we're on number 5, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go. Number 5, guys. Number 5. Be open to changing boundaries in the future. You might set some boundaries right now because you need them to protect your fragile feelings or mental state, or you might find that some of the boundaries you set right now need to be made stronger because of the way they are, because the way they are just isn't enough. So the same way you have to decide what boundaries you need right now, you also have to be open that your boundaries may change in the future. This may get better. So you can lift certain boundaries and you and your ex can become friends if that happens. That's a great thing if y'all can become friends. Nothing wrong with that. I am friends with a couple of my exes, not many. And I mean good friends, meaning I can call them and count on them. They know Tiff and everything is good. And that's a good thing. That's not the norm for most, and that's not the norm for me. But I do have a couple of exes that are very good supporters of what I do, friends of what I do. We can joke and laugh. I know their husbands and all of that. And that's a wonderful thing. But those boundaries may change as you mature, as they mature, and as you grow. And also as time is spent. The more time that you spend away from somebody, the more you realize that, it's done. And you can now go ahead and do what you got to do. And I think that's another thing too. Delaware got different flies, boy. They just don't give up. Even when it's getting cold, they're going to fight to the end. So future boundaries may change, and keep that in mind. Okay? And so you want to be fluid. You want to be flexible if that happens. But again, always be safe. If it's negative, it's a done deal. If it's a negative, unless you have children, there's no reason to deal with them. That's for me. If it's negative. If there's negative, what we got to talk about? Yes, I'll accept the apology, but it's done. Thank you. I don't even need that. I don't need closure. Like some people say, I need closure. I don't need closure. If it's over, that's closure enough. It's done. I don't care what happens to you. Go ahead. And if I see you, I may not even acknowledge you. That all depends on how we broke up. That's just me. And again, I don't expect everybody to be as cold as I am. I'm just saying that's how I might go about something. What time is it? Okay. And so that's where it is. And I think we have to pay attention to that because you want to be, you want your boundaries have to fit you. They have to. They really need to fit you. Okay? All right. So we're going to go on to number six. Okay. Number 6 is talk to your ex about the boundaries. Once you figure out what your boundary, what boundaries you need, it's time to talk to your ex. Laying out your boundaries to your ex so they know what to expect is a crucial step in this process. You also need to be open to hearing their boundaries. There may be things they need to feel comfortable in the new, different relationship the two of you are trying to build now. Don't be on the phone. Don't do this over the phone or text. This is face to face. Now, of course, because of COVID, but yes, you want to have a face to face conversation. Say, look, I got back in touch with an ex when COVID hit to check on them, but had to cut them off because they tried to get back. Well, listen, Michelle, they figured, hey, she called. What's going on, Ma? And let me tell you something. I can tell you for a lot of men, the reason why we will call up somebody that we know, because it is so much easier to rock with the woman that you knew than trying to get out here and start something new with somebody else, especially if it's a physical thing. If it's a physical thing, you already know what you're getting. You already know what the feel is. You already know what the fit is and all that other stuff. And sometimes it's just easier to try to go backwards because it's like, I know what I'm getting with her. I know what that feels like. I know what that's going to be like. Let me see what I can do there. Let me try to make this work. That's why you'll have some folks sniffing around. You're like, what are you calling for? He calling because he don't want to go forward. And the crazy part is that men and women will open up that door simply because they want some of the same thing. Like, God, at least I know what he can do. At least I know what she can do. And they go backwards and then they're right back in some of the same situations that they were in before. And you don't want that. Remember why you broke up. Remember why it got negative. And if there's been no major fix, no matter how great it might be, absence make the heart and the lower half of the body grow fonder. So y'all been broken up for 5, 6, 7 months. You haven't gone out here and got none. He hasn't gone out here and got none. She hasn't gone out here and got none. And all of a sudden you sitting around and you like, I could use some. So you thinking about your ex. Why don't you come by? You left your scarf. Okay. Really? Your scarf? He could have mailed that to you. She could have mailed that to you. You going to pick up the scarf. She's showing up in boy shorts and a cutoff. You going to pick up the scarf. He's showing up in gray sweatpants. Now you on the phone. Girl, I was trying to tell him no. Yeah, sure. Come on, Holmes. You should have saw the way she looked at the door. What was I supposed to do? Take your ass home. That's what I do. When dudes hit me with that, what was I supposed to do? Go home. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Yo, come on. You had to see it. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So what? Before I knew what was happening, I was up in there. Before I knew what was going on, we was all over the place, girl. Who you fooling? Let me tell you something, and it's in my book, so listen. Bait. Really, T to the Y, I feel you. My ex and I had been broken up for, let's see, I left in May of 2000. So November, so 6 months? About that. About November, because Tiff and I had started talking in October. So here it was 6 months later. I don't know what we was doing, trying to do something. It was whack. I'm sitting on my side, well, what used to be my side of the bed, facing the wall. She's on her side. It was like a bad BET movie. And I thought about it. I said, we can't do this. We can't do this no more. This is done. And she said, excuse me? I said, this ain't going to work. I'm not going to come by and do this no more. I'm sorry. And she actually said to me, so I can't even be your whore now. I was like, whoa. I said, I ain't say all that. She said, yeah, you did. I said, all right, whatever. You take it any way you want. And here we were in just that split second, right back to where we were as a married couple. Now, we were separated because I didn't get divorced until 2003. I had to get up the money and all that other foolishness. But here it was, November 2000. And we had been apart 6 months. Call ourselves trying to get, and let me tell you something. I can remember that session, but I blocked out so much that I literally just can't remember the 8 years that we was together. Because I had put it all to the side so much that now I literally have to strain to kind of think of things. And to be with somebody 8 years and only have a handful of pleasurable memories, but yet you had 2 children. And if you read my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, You know there's a whole section in there about some things that went on between my ex-wife and I that I'm not proud of, and I know why she hates me. Because I hate me for putting her through that. And I'm looking at the comments, and that is what you have to do. Like, now, I don't think we have more than a 30-second conversation. Other than, she called me when my mother passed, and she was just like, if you need anything, she said all the basic things, and that was cool. Like, when her mother passed, I said the same thing. But other than that, nah. She'll call me if there's something that she need me to talk to the boys about and to deal with them discipline-wise, because I've never lost my connection to my sons. But her and I, nah. Nah, I don't even run it through my head fantasy-wise of, oh, what it would have been like to get back together. No. I should have never been married. I was not husband material. And I got married because I had one baby in Bayside and I had a woman pregnant in Flatbush, Brooklyn. And I thought it was the thing to do. My mother, my hood moms was like, you ain't got to be nobody's damn husband, just be a good pops. I should have listened to her because I wound up being the dude with multiple dads anyway. Multiple kids anyway. So one of the things that I try to teach young men is, one, don't be out here making a bunch of babies. That's number one. Two, if you do go out here and do something stupid, just take care of your children. Don't get into a marriage or anything long term when you're not ready. And I'm going to say that to any of you guys watching here that are single and you're not sure what you want to do, don't climb into something for convenience. Any convenience that you get does not require that you need to be married. Don't do it to yourself. Leave yourself an out that you don't have to go that legal route. All right? All right, let's move on to number 7. Number 6 was talk to your ex about the boundaries. Let's move on to number 7, guys. And yes, read From Gigolo to Jesus. You will read what happened with my ex-wife. I'm not proud of it. I'm not happy. And it was bad. It was a very bad time. And so, because I understand that, I know why she hates me. And so I'm not going to exacerbate a situation when I know that I'm the creator of somebody's pain. I can't take away their pain. I moved once I moved to Friendsville, my youngest son asked if he could get my new info to his father. I told him no, he has my cell. That's enough. It is very true. Mama knows best. Very true, Michelle. All right, guys. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, T to the Y, for keeping me on point. Number 7, guys. Number 7. Here we go. Get third party to help. Sometimes setting boundaries can be difficult. You might disagree on what boundary you need. One might want things to be stricter than the other. Raising children together can really complicate boundaries. If you're struggling to figure out what boundaries need to be, find an agreement. Get a third party, a therapist, a relationship counselor, a court mediator can help you figure out your boundaries. That is very important. My daughter's mother. My daughter was out here wilding out. If you go on YouTube and look up A-Train Beatdown, that's my daughter doing all the yapping, and got herself in trouble and was on her way to jail. And so I had to take my daughter from her mother. So instead of just a gigantic custody battle and all of that, we went to court right there on Queens Boulevard and asked for mediation. I took her to court again. Like I said, I've taken myself to court 5 times. I only had to be asked to come in one time. So I've been to court 6 times and I have not lost. And I don't say that I just say it because I try to teach men how to go into court and how to act. Often they don't know how to act, so they're wilding out. So I went to the mediator and we sat down, and when we met the mediator, I said, her mother is failing her as a mom, but I don't want to take her from her mother. What I want is to have my daughter with me Sunday nights to Thursday nights. And when she goes to school Friday morning, she can go to her mother's house from Friday to Sunday until she finishes school. Once she finishes school, then she's free to do whatever she wants. But I need to try to save her life, and I cannot do that when her mother is not in control like she should. And if her mother's not in control, what can I do? And so the mediator then turned to her. Now, I spoke to her before because I said, listen, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell the mediator. And I said to her, and listen, I'm a thug. I ain't going to lie to you. I said to her, if you don't rock with this, then when we get in there, I'm going to tell the mediator everything that you're not as a mom. And if you want to make this a custody battle, I'll win it. How you want to do this? because I don't want to take our daughter from you. I just want to take her from you for a couple of days so I can get her to finish school, and then we go from there. And so her mom thought about it. She was about to go in there and try to flip a little bit, but then she realized that she was in a bad spot because I wasn't there. So all that my daughter had turned out was under her watch. And so we went in, we put it down in front of the judge. Judge said, I like that, signed off on it. So my daughter started living with me. I had her stay at my grandmother's house. And that year and a half, it took us almost 2 years, but she wound up getting out of school. And she would go to her mom's house on the weekend and come back to stay with me. And again, I took myself to court because it was trying to set those boundaries between each other wasn't going to work. So sometimes you need third party to help you, therapist, counselor, relationship counselor, mediator, court. Because if those boundaries have to be clear when there's children involved. And I'm not just talking about child support, I'm talking about custody, I'm talking about everything. Know your rights and know what's available to you. Know what is in place that's going to help you be able to be the parent that you need to be while still having a connection to the mother or father, depending on what your situation is. And it's important because, again, the kids need the stability. The kids need you two to be stable. When boundaries waffle and change, that creates a problem with the children. Another thing, too, ladies and gentlemen, if you have children and you are separated and y'all are no longer together with the mother or the father, don't creep over there to get some and let the kids see you. It sends a false sense of hope to the children if they are used to having you in the relationship. You just need to get knocked down or you need to go get some, whatever it is. Do it when the kids are sleeping. Don't mess the children up emotionally because you're trying to take care of your needs. If you and your ex are just sexually compatible and you're not ready to go out here and give it to nobody else or give it to anybody else, again, if that's the boundary that y'all are drawing, do it at night. Do it when the kids are at school. Do it when they're somewhere else. If you have the kids with you and they're with your grandparents, then sneak over there and give them some or get you some, whatever it is. Because it is unfair to the children to put them in that environment where they start getting their hopes up that mommy and daddy are getting back together, and all of a sudden you're no longer there. They start to turn that in on themselves. Maybe it's because of us. Maybe it's because of me, depending on how many children that you have. Don't do that. Not for sex. If you're legitimately trying to work it out and get back together, so be it. But if you know that you're not, and it's just a hit off and it's just a booty call because that's what it's become, okay, you're adults. Get your freak on. But be mindful of the children. Be mindful of the long-term damage it will do when the children... And let me tell you what's funny with that. And again, listen, when you live the life I have stories. My ex was talking to a guy on her job. She thought I didn't know. I knew. I just didn't care. But when I separated in 2000, he came by one night. So my son told me the next day, he said, yeah, we'll leave Stan. Okay, I'll say his name. He a punk anyway. I said, Stan came by? He said, yeah, we were getting ready to go to bed, and Stan was here, and then mommy put us to bed, and I was like, okay. So I called the job. I said, what's going on, Stan? He said, who's this? I said, it's Keith. Keith? He said, Keith who? I said, mother. I was about to curse. You know who I am. I said, have my ex-wife told you who I am? Who I really am? He was like, no. I said, brother, you a married man with children. You want to keep them that way? I said, if I ever catch you in my children's home where they can see you, I don't care if you want to hump their mom. That's your business. I already know you were humping her when she was with me. The only reason why I don't kill you is because I was humping other people too, so do you. I said, but if you ever put my children in a situation, because you never came over my house while we were married. You never came over my house when we were together. You never came, my kids never saw you in that house when I was around. You a married man. Don't ever do that again. If you ever place my children in that situation, your child will have no father. Do I make myself clear? All he could say was, yes, sir. Because my thing is, you do not play with children's minds. You do not mess with them emotionally. I am the product of that, and I have made that mistake in my life coming up. I cannot change it. All I can do is learn from it and do the best I can to help as many children now, but you cannot do that. Had to get rid of them. Let me see. Tony said they will get older and follow the parent. Yes, very true, Tony. Had to get rid of him after I trained him to take care of me. Not ever again. His new wife came up acting out of pocket. I told her she needs to thank me because if it hadn't been for me, so don't you bite the hand that feeds you to thank you. Now you getting all that good loving. Dead presidents, by the way, guys. He said, was she doing like that before you went to the war? That's a hard scene. We just had a coach that got killed. He was the stepfather to his son. He the stepfather to his son to the game. His biological dad was upset. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, these are the things, Tony. This is why we try to set those boundaries, because emotions are very raw. And as I said to you before, people do not separate at the same emotional level. And not everybody has emotional maturity. So it may be over for you and that person don't know how to deal. And that's another reason why boundaries have to be clear. They have to be. They have to be extremely clear. Because it can become a matter of life and death, because some people don't know how to separate, don't know how to let go. And then if there's children involved, especially men, don't want to see the next man near their child. But then you don't want to take care of your child, but you're going to be angry at the next man. It's a crazy cycle, because when you've sat in on enough barbershop conversations and hear a brother go, I wish a Negro would, da-da-da-da-da, but yet they not taking care of their own kids. And then when somebody calls them on it, they ready to fight for being called out on the truth. But then the minute they think the next dude is smashing their baby mama, now they want to go burn the whole world down. But yet you still not taking care of your kids. You mad because somebody taking care of the coochie. And we've seen the reverse with ladies, so don't get it twisted. He gets a new woman and you losing your mind because you know what he did to you, he doing to her. And if it ain't working for you or you ain't getting it, and God forbid you get some whack P and you know she's getting good D. And I say P is whack, but it's P. When it's good, it's D. I agree. That seems hypocritical. Now, it can be, it's that way. And the crazy part, Ty, and I'm sure you've heard it, you've seen dudes who got their chests all puffed up for what goes on with their lady, but yet they ain't doing nothing with their kids. And you know they're not doing it because you never see them with their kids. But yet they'll tell you all these fantastic stories and whatever. And God forbid another man wants to step in and take care of their kids. Now they angry. Some say, yeah, can't separate the money from the coochie. Some can't separate the emotion from the coochie. That's the problem. Just like some ladies can't separate from the D or the P. If it's soft, it's P. If it's strong, it's D. Don't bring no man around my kids. Exactly. And it's crazy because then it's like, if you're doing what you're supposed to do. See, the funny thing is, this is where, again, I'm going to keep saying emotional maturity. Emotionally mature man will understand that they're not doing and they're okay with that dude stepping in and doing. My daughter's husband, him and I talked. He actually called me. He said, hey, Keith, I know that you're a good dude. I know you and Charlene had some issues, but I need your help. I got you, no problem. And we had a talk, because I said, listen, if you got to discipline my daughter, you do what you got to do. But just give me a call if you need some help. And he did. And I'm trying to think. With my children, I didn't have great... I made some horrible choices as baby mamas, because I shouldn't have been out there hoeing. Sometimes I look back now and I'm like, what was I thinking? Oh my God, I was just slinging. It was just here. Want some? It was like M&M's here. Who wants some? And the crazy part is like you sit back and you look and it's like, did you really need to be with that many women? But when you nasty, nasty. And when you create babies, it's something different. I didn't have a lot of exes because I didn't date. I slept a lot. Slept around a lot. I didn't date. I didn't have girlfriends. I didn't need them. I've only had 5, 6, between the 300, 400 women, whatever. It's only been like 5 or 6 girlfriends. And broke their hearts because I didn't know how to be a boyfriend. I didn't know how to be a man. And I've been in love. I've really been in love. I've had real love, but I didn't know what to do with it. It's in my book, chapter 2, Sex versus Love. I didn't know to choose love over sex. I chose sex and destroyed a fantastic relationship. Wonderful relationship. Because I didn't know the energy. I didn't know the vibrations of love. I didn't come up in that environment. I came up in the get as much coochie as you can get environment. My dad laughed at his buddy telling him how he tore up. Dad just told him she got 5 kids, man. Your stuff bigger than that. Well, you know, us men, we believe that. We believe that we done beat it up to the point that any of y'all that got brothers have heard how they talk. We believe that the ding-a-ling is the most powerful thing on the planet, when actually it's the coochie. But given the right way, done at the right time, sex can be a very powerful weapon. It can also be a very intoxicating drug. As y'all have read from Gigolo to Jesus, I don't exaggerate. I've been with almost 400 women. I'm not proud of it. Because like any drug, you start to believe you're greater than the drug itself. And I have more abortions and miscarriages than I do children. I'm not proud of that. So I've learned something when being with so many women is because you also have to now deal with so many personalities. Have there been some crazy women? Yes. Trust me, I can tell you stories. One even talked to her coochie. She literally was talking to her coochie like a dude talked to his penis. That should have been a sign not to mess with it. And what happened? She wound up becoming one of the mother of my children. Got her pregnant. Stupid me. But yes, I've seen crazy. I've seen crackhead. I've seen high sedity. I've seen it all. Rich, poor, all races, white, black, Latino, Asian. And what you start to learn is how culture plays an effect on how women see themselves. Of course, you see the role parents play. You go back and read T to the Y. You got the book. But what are you saying what to, brother? What do you mean what? And I'm going to finish up these last two in a second. I'm going to finish up number 8 and 9 in a second. What do you mean what to, T to the Y? What are you shocked about? I have no problem with talking about my past because when you started 12 years old, I'm 52. When you started 12 years old and then at 15, you're with a 40-year-old woman who brings her 50-year-old friend, and the two of them teach you how to please them. Now imagine being a 15, 16-year-old boy with the knowledge of how to please grown women. And now you get with girls your age. They're left defenseless. And so, yeah. And then now you know how to basically destroy defensive girls your age. And that's what it is. Talking to her coochie. Yes. It's funny is, she was a little nervous. We were at my grandmother's house, and I didn't have any lubricant, so I had to go find, I think I went and got cold cream. Now you're supposed to use cold cream. Now I'm a health teacher, I know this. So as I'm in the bathroom, as I'm walking back to the living room, I can hear her going, "Come on, girl. You know you want this. Come on now. I need you to loosen up." And I'm like, who's she talking to? I'm thinking to myself, who's she talking to? So as I'm getting a little closer to the living room, she is sitting on the living room floor, legs open, talking to her stuff. That should have been a sign. But that booty dough. And that's why I understand why guys get in trouble. Because when they're caught up in the sexual energy of a booty or breast or whatever, it will override basic common sense. And my wife and I joke about this now. And then after meeting and hearing some of the things that went on afterwards, she get it. She realized, she see like, you was messing with some crazy chicks. I was. And dudes will tell you if they're being honest. Crazy chicks are more sexual because they're crazy. All you porn folks that watch porn, some of those young ladies are not stable, just like some of the men are not stable. You can tell. But once you find something that you're good at, once you find something that is pleasurable, even though it is causing you to go insane, why stop? That's why when I wrote the book and when I talk to people, I use the book as a way to get folks to understand where I'm coming from. There's not too many things around the physicality of men and women that I don't understand. And it's what allows me to really help people through some dark periods in their life. It's also one of the reasons why I've had such a great relationship with former pimps, prostitutes, crackheads, junkies, nymphos, sex addicts, whatever. People who normally can't find their space in church and everywhere else because they're scared to talk about it. And when you can talk to somebody about your deepest, darkest, nastiest things that happened to you and not get judged, it's a sense of freedom. And I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bother me no more. And I can tell you, listen, when you work at a no-tell motel, a short stay joint, hot sheet joint for almost 4 years, the things that you see and the things that you do, you get to understand how low some people will get in their life for drugs, how low some people will get to because of abuse, how low people will get to in certain environments, in certain neighborhoods when they don't see a way out. You also see how people prey on them. And you also learn how some of the people that you would never think are in the game are in the game. It's also why I've learned that a lot of what people will show you is not who they really are. Because shame closes a lot of mouths. Shame and judgment keeps a lot of people from healing. And that's what the church misses because it doesn't offer absolution to shame and pain and abuse. So people don't say anything. They keep it inside. And anytime you keep it inside, you cannot heal. All right, let's knock down these last two guys. Number 8. It wasn't Par Central. No, the Par Central right there on, right up from the bowling alley right there on Horace Harding, on the expressway, Q Motor Inn. Kim, I have been to every short stay motel in Queens and Brooklyn and most on Long Island. You name it, I can tell you where it's at. Par Central's right there on the corner. Around the corner is the Q Motor Inn. I used to work at the Crown, right next to Burger King, and the Jade East, right on the other side of the Bell Parkway. There's a whorehouse right up the block on Rockaway, right next past the gas station, 2 houses down. I used to manage the Crown Motel, and I used to spend time at the Jade because the man that owned both, I used to work the office there, but I was the manager of the Crown Motel from 88 to 92. 88 to 92 or 91. 88 to 89, 99, 90, 99, yeah, to 91. Crown Motel. But yeah, I know the Par Central. I've been there. There you go. There you go. Shh. If they know, they know. Hey, the Par Central was the best spot after the bowling. After you get finished bowling at Van Wyck, hit the Par Central, the Q, or the Jet right there on Queens Boulevard. Get it in, then go head back home. All right, here we go. Number 8. Number 8. I'm giving away trade secrets. Number 8. Get someone you trust to help you. Sometimes, even after taking part in setting boundaries, you can feel yourself backsliding. We think about letting a boundary go or ignoring it while our ex ignores boundaries. We think we maybe have to wing it, and we see what happens. The JDs, there you go. That's it. Right on the other side of Rockaway Boulevard. Yes. Knew the owners, and I worked at the Crown right on the other side. Yep. Everybody over 45 know what the JDs and the Crown is. But yes, get someone who can trust you. Now, third-party accountability person is very, very, very... Oh, yeah, I know the one in Belrose, too. Yes, that's the one off to the right. Not too far from the bowling alley when you go straight down. Been there, too. Okay, so, you know what? Kim, I'm not messing with you. You gave me... I'm having flashbacks. All right, you can go to Kentucky Fried and then go to... Anyway. All right, so... You need to have a third party, a brother or a sister, somebody you can call and be like, girl, I find myself slipping. Yo, dude, I'm about to call my ex. Don't do it. And they should be somebody who knows what the boundaries are. Make sure you are calling somebody who understands what the boundaries are. So when you call them and tell them that you're about to cross a boundary, they already know what to tell you. Come on, bro, don't do that. Come on, sis, don't do that. Have somebody who knows what the situation is and who is willing to tell you, don't go there. Because those boundaries are in place for a minute. And make sure it's somebody who's close to you. Make sure you're not asking someone third party who's going to use that information to try to do you. Yeah, we better stop. Is to do you dirty. Because you got to be mindful of who you're letting know your boundaries. Also, you got to be mindful of who you're letting know about your ex. Because you will find somebody close to you up under your ex. So be careful of that. So it should be somebody that you can trust explicitly. Do not put that in the hands of somebody that you're not sure, and now you're hurt over something that you could have controlled. But make sure you have someone that you can trust. That's why it's key. Someone that you can trust. That's going to help you, that you can call. All right, number nine. Last one of the night, guys. Last one. Please understand this. Number 9. Boundaries matter. You might think that you can easily transition from, yes, you definitely need the accountability person. They can have them. Listen, if it gets to that point, you need to let them go. That's cool. But that's the key, is that you need that accountability person. So number 9, boundaries matter. You might think you can easily transition from a romantic relationship to a platonic one with no need to discuss boundaries. But it's important that you ignore that thought and discuss them anyway. Many of us, because of ego, fear, insecurity, whatever. Some of us, we just think we got it like that. Some of us, we just don't want to deal with it. Whatever it is, please understand that boundaries matter. Have that discussion. Do not go into it like we're going to be okay, especially if it was a relationship where feelings were deep. Feelings were expressed, and especially when time was put in. Because if you have been with this person for some time, it's going to take you a little bit to get comfortable with just not having them in your life, even in a negative way. Because even if especially if y'all are living together, because now you're used to coming in and even just, how you doing? And now that's not there. And that change is not always easy for some people. That change is not always something that they're comfortable with. You're comfortable with. So please understand that boundaries matter. Please say to yourself, I need to have this in place, because you want a clean break. And then once you break, you want those boundaries to be clear. And you want them respected. So to respect them, you got to respect them first. Boundaries do matter. And it is extremely important, guys. And I made sure, if we were even going to have that conversation with any of my exes, yes, I'll just go to my ex-wife, because that's the more recent. Those boundaries were clear. They had to be. Change is not easy because everything is a reminder. Yes, and that's the reason why you need the boundaries, Ty. That's a great point right there. T to the Y, that is why you need the boundaries, because of the reminders. And that's why people backslide too, is because, again, if this is who you've been with, even if it's not good, but it's still a person that has occupied your life for years, to now have to change that up and do things differently, it's difficult on anybody. And the longer you are together, the harder it is, because especially if you've been a decade or better. You went through a whole decade with a person and you didn't cheat. You've been with one person for 10 plus years. Do you know how hard that is to start over? How hard it is to get comfortable with the next person, man or woman? How hard it is to reestablish language, body language, as well as verbal language and love language. And it's tough on everybody. And then toss in children. Listen, it took me 6 months to get him out of the house. I moved into my son's room because he wasn't effing, because he was effing with my older. Okay, I got you. I got you. That was the mistake I made, Kim. I told my ex I wanted out of the relationship in January, and I didn't have a plan. And the next 4.5 months was horrible. It was like roommates on steroids who hated each other, and it was, you going out tonight? Yeah. And you going out tonight? Yeah. And it was just, oh, it was horrible. May couldn't have came around fast enough. And here's the crazy part, that when I was leaving in May, I'm packing up. We're at that expensive dining room table that created an argument, and I'm sitting there, and a part of me was like, okay, I'm leaving. She goes, do you really have to leave? Can't you stay? Can we work on this? And a part of me, and she said, we got children, we're married, we can fix this. And a part of me was about to fall for it. And a part of me got all emotional, and I was like, and then it was almost like the Lord slapped me. What's wrong with you? And I said, you know what? No. This is done, babe. We're going to leave this alone. Not 30 seconds after that came out my mouth, the venom showed up. She said, well, then get the F out then. F you, get the... Man, just, I was like, oh, there we go. That's the chick that I knew. And I was like, see? And if I almost fell for it, because I did 3 years earlier. 3 years earlier, I was going to leave it in, and the crying and the tears and the, oh, you're the baby's father. We got children. You can't leave me like this. And I went for it. And wasted 3 more years with somebody I was not in love with. And it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad breakup. It was a bad 8 years, and I just was a horrible husband. She wasn't the greatest wife, but I'm not going to put it on her, because I know she wasn't doing me as dirty as I was doing her. She might have been doing me dirty, but it didn't matter, because when you're not connected to somebody like that, them cheating don't bother you. They just getting in your way, because the nights they out cheating, I got to be home. I'm trying to get out and cheat myself. I had chicks dropping me off in front of the house. I'm knocking down her friends. It was bad. And they weren't her friends. It was just, she had talked enough about me, so I was able to, and she used to run her mouth about which friends was nasty, so I knew which ones I could pick off. It was horrible. And when I think about how I was now, I was husband in name only. I was husband in title only. There was nothing about me that said husband. There was nothing about me that was remotely husband-like. And, the best thing out of it all was that our kids remained stable and healthy, because we were able to at least be good parents. We didn't like each other, but we respected each other as parents. When she knew something was happening, she called me. When my boys got sideways with her, I checked them. Yep, that was with my ex-husband for 12 years. Needed those clear boundaries, because truly loved him. And we had kids, but I had to cut him off and get out of the life, even though he always wanted to get back. Oh, I can't see the rest. Okay, wanted to get back. Had to do that to continue on my life. I feel you, Michelle. Kim says, the fool first said, what, you going to get a man right away? Told him I haven't had a man in 5 years. Then he said that I wanted to screw. I told him I didn't have to get rid of him to do that. Then he said, I just wanted to You know what, Kim? Many of us men are so stupid that we think that you want to get rid of us so you can go get somebody else. If men had any clue how much P&D, penis and D, is offered to women on a regular basis, they would be shocked. That's around, told him, he had people mixed up. He asked who. I said, hi. Nice. Okay, I told you. Wow. Yeah, listen, many of us brothers don't get it. But then the sad part is when you see women who don't understand either. And it's just bad on both sides. And I've had the opportunity to try to help people on both sides. And it's very difficult sometimes, especially when it's just not penetrating that they can't respect boundaries. I've literally had baby mothers try to explain to me why they think they should be allowed to do X, Y, and Z because I had his child. And then I go, but he has multiple children. So I had his first child. What? I've had men say, I don't care, I was her first. she's supposed to be loyal to me. Huh? So that street logic is still in effect, huh? Okay. And when you start to see penetration, yeah, when you start to see what folks are really about, yeah, sorry, that's it. It's just it's sad, but at the end of the day, I waited for the hit because I had the serial numbers of his illegal guns. He was going to jail. I was willing to take the hit, but wow, wow. Well, I'm glad you're here, Kim. Oh my gosh, ooh. Mm-mm-mm. And then also what we didn't talk about, but as part of it, is the family members. I didn't add that to the list because when I was doing the research, but it just came to me. Another boundary too, don't engage the other person's family just because you can. They are collateral damage. Meaning when you cut them off, close the door to family. That I'll give you that one. That's 10. Close the door to the other side family too, because you don't want to keep that door open if you're trying to keep boundaries with their brother, with their son, with their whatever. That's collateral damage. Hey guys, I would love to hang out with you, but you know me and your husband, me and your brother, me and your son, me and your nephew don't talk. Stop doing that. Stop using family as a way to get around boundaries. It's funny sometimes they'll break it with you and then think no one else is. Yeah, that's the arrogance on both sides, Toya. You'll have men and women out here who think you ain't supposed to be with nobody else because you decided not to be with them. Really? And there's people that live that, wake up and feel that and get mad if you went out and got somebody. Like my ex hated that I got with Tiff so soon after we broke up, and then Tiff being younger, Tiff being prettier. My ex hated that, and she hated Tiff. But here was the problem. Tiff just disarmed her because my boys loved Tiff. When we broke up, his other asked for a shot. Whoa, yeah, that's a normal occurrence, Kim. I agree because they want to get information from you trying to be cool with the family. Yes. There you go, Tony. And Kim, that's a usual that happens, Kim. A lot of family members will take shots because they know a little bit about you, or now that they things is free, they figure they got a shot. And Tony, very true. Is the family, and just like if you're dating someone who has a son or a daughter, but it's not your son or daughter, that's collateral damage too. I don't care how good you and the child was together. When you cut the parent off, the child is cut off too. I know it's sad. I know it's tough. And you're like, but I want to see that. I said I was going to do this for little man. I was going to do this for little girl. No, collateral damage. You cannot try to have boundaries with the father or mother and then call yourself trying to do some things with their child or children. No. Collateral damage. It's over. And the children will just have to learn. You see them in the street, be polite. Cut them loose too. Don't have anything to say. Do not put children in the way of whatever you're trying to create away from their mother or father. Don't do it. It's just not cool. And it can turn into something very, very dicey. And I'm going to tell you why. Their mother was a barfly. I found out that's why they had no respect for women. And that's another thing, too. How you were raised, Kim. How you were raised affects how your boundaries are. Some people have no problem with a baby father, a baby mama getting it in every now and then. They're going to say, well, they had and I've had older women of color say this to me. Well, y'all had a baby together, so what's wrong with going over and getting a little something? Ain't like y'all share a kid? What's wrong with her getting a little something? That's her father, her child. She trying to what? I've heard this. I have heard this said by man, and woman. Well, that's the mother of her child. If he want to go get a little, if they want to do a little something, they can. They had a baby. That's the father of the baby, and I'm like, oh no, out of bounds. But I have heard that argument. Because y'all have went half on a baby. There's just certain privileges you believe come to you as a mother. respect, and child support if it's in place. And even if it's not in place, you're still supposed to be making sure that mother is straight. And respect and support, and leave him or her alone. Yes, that is some twisted thinking to it, but I have heard it often. I have heard older men and women say, but look, they share a baby if they want to get it in. What's wrong? And I go, what? What are y'all talking about? I'm saying that's the father of that child. I mean, they got together before. What's wrong with getting together again? What kind of moonshine y'all drinking? Keith, I can't put all of their business out. That's brother's cousin's brother. No names, Kim. If you want to pass it on the tip to tell me, that's fine. Actually, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm good. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Muddy waters, very true, Michelle. But the problem with that is because, again, it is how we see the physicality and how we see baby making. Some folks of color, you had a baby with him, so y'all are always tied. It's like a unspoken marriage of some type. Now, yes, y'all have a child that y'all conceived, and that child needs to be cared for. But all that extra is not necessary, but folks will tell you differently. Folks will try to explain to you that because you were blessed with a child, y'all now have to be physically connected to each other. Man, please. Just the thought of that is revolting for me, because some of my children, I love them to death, should have never been conceived. Okay, she slept with her brother-in-law, produced 3 kids. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, but I'm going to leave that alone. And I think the funny thing, let me tell you something, guys. If y'all have never been in the bowling communities, Lord help me. If y'all have never been in the bowling communities, if you ever wanted to see a fantastic reality show, if they ever did a reality show based on how bowling leagues in predominantly African American communities, what that is socially, it'd be some of the best reality TV you ever watched. When you could be on lane 3 and 4 with your new wife, and your ex-wife is on lane 8 and 9 with her new man, and your son is on lane 23 with his daughter, who is your ex's sister's child. Or you could be on the lane bowling, not knowing that the dude you bowling against is really your father, because the guy you thought is your father, they were teammates 10 years ago. Yes, this goes on a regular. And you could come in and have 3 children, and all 3 with different men, and each of them are bowling in the league. Or you could come in and have 2 baby mamas on 2 different teams, while you come in with your 3rd baby mama who bowls with you. And then when y'all got to bowl against each other, have drama. As if y'all didn't know that y'all were actually going to bowl against each other when y'all all joined the league. With everybody's kids running around, and then as they get older, start to date each other and don't know that they're technically 2 cousins removed. And this goes on a regular basis. That you will see somebody who's married now and their 2 ex-wives are in the same league, or their 2 ex-husbands are in the same league. And everything seems okay. And there's other aspects of that in certain leagues, which should be a generational blessing, that the great-grandfather or the grandfather, the father, the son, and the grandson are all in the same league. That should be a blessing. But in some bowling leagues, it's a curse. Because you will have some women who have dated the grandfather and the grandson. You will have some men who have dated the grandmother, the mom, and now is trying to knock down the daughter because she's of age. or the ones that flirt with everyone that decides to bring his wife and introduce her to the women he's flirting with. Yeah, exactly. No drama. That's when you bring that hammer down. First. Well, Kim, not everybody is ready to drop that hammer. Well, yeah, she shows up to make sure that he's behaving himself, but because he's trained everybody to know that if my wife show up, you know it's something kind of creepy. So all the chicks be like, "Hey, girl," smiling her face when they were humping her man in the parking lot last weekend. Bowling trips were even worse. Yes, it's getting in the car before you even get to the hotel. Then when you're at the hotel, everybody just running around nasty, getting it in. Then everybody bowl and everybody act like they having a wonderful time, taking pictures. Everybody go back to the hotel, get drunk. You don't know who you're going to end up with. Come back bowl the next day, do it again that night. And then everybody comes back and says, "Did you make any money?" No one cares that you passed on some diseases or had a couple of babies, but this is what happens. Oh, yeah. Trust me. You know what the funny thing is, Kim? I've been bowling since 81. Yeah, 80. And those bowling trips, I never wanted to mess with anybody that I came with because I knew I was going to see them when I was back home. Shut up. Never wanted to mess with anybody I came with. I wanted to mess with other people's girls because then they know they were going wherever they were going and I was good. I didn't want to mess with whoever I came with because then I have to see them back in the bowling alley. But bowling trips, Syracuse, striking spare lanes, one of the biggest bowling alleys I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. But listen, if you ever wanted to see real drama, if they ever do a bowling alley, hell, maybe I should write the script. That would be fantastic reality. I tried, and we actually were doing a bowling reality show, but people was getting butt hurt because people kept dropping subliminals. And I was like, I don't need the drama. That was 10 years ago? Yeah, something like that. When did Tiff and I do the show? With KL was 7 years. So, yeah, it was 8 years ago. 9 years ago. Almost 10 years. We were doing a bowling show. And people was putting out pure dirt. And it started to get little undercurrents where cats were coming back to the bowling alley and feeling some type of way. But I think if you ever wanted to see a reality, because especially, and the reason why I say in an urban environment is because a lot of times the bowling alley becomes the outlet. I need to join a bowling league to put some spice. You get some spice, Michelle. You better be, you join, and fresh meat at a bowling alley. Oh, don't let the new girl come. She getting attention. So you're going to get hate from all the chicks who was in the league, like, who the new chick? You're going to have all this attention. Dudes all like, yo, and if you got anything swollen, top or bottom, you're going to get attention. We could write some stuff. We could, Kim. We could. But that was an idea when the UBA first started. You might not want that spice. Yes, they do talk a lot. Yes, they do. The dude that is with you will tell his boys, and at least 3 of his boys is going to try to get at you too. The new chick always gets attention. Always. Somebody going to be like, yo, who that? That's nobody's wife? I'm in there. And all of a sudden, hey, what's going on? You bowl? And don't be a good competitor because now I can make some money and try to get at you. And let me tell you something, bowling is one of the easiest ways to cheat because if your partner is not into bowling, like my ex-wife was not into bowling at all. Oh my God, I stayed at Rainbow Lanes trying to get up in somebody. Prepared to be the new me. Yeah, that's it. Be prepared. They will be salivating all over the place. Yes, Chili Pepper Central, Tony. Yes, it'll be a whole lot more than chili peppers getting tossed around. But when new meat come, oh my gosh, it's like prison. And then you got chicks who come to bowling half naked, like you know you competing, right? They don't care. And then, like I said, here dude gets one chick pregnant, and before the baby's even born, she on another pair with another dude. But the best part of the whole bowling thing is when there's an argument. When there's a serious argument, especially when folks have been drinking, and now they start to spit out the secrets. And that's why I humped your brother at the tournament last week, when we was in the car. Lord. There was a mom and daughter squad that they were rumored about. Oh yeah, oh mom and daughter. Listen, I can tell you for true. Knocking down mom and daughters is easy in bowling leagues. Knocking down fathers and sons and some grandfathers. Now the females are predators. Yes, because look at you got meat showing up every week, same time, same location. You come a little bit early. You go ahead and compete. You hang out at the bar a little bit afterwards. And if the person's not coming with their significant other because they're not into bowling, it is the perfect way. Especially once you sit in the bar for about an hour or two after bowling, now you have some drinks and now you got to go home. Why not pull off behind one of these dark blocks and get it in? Why not go to the hot, cheap motel and get it in? This is what goes on in some of these bowling leagues. And not just bowling leagues with people of color. I bowled out in Brooklyn in white leagues. They're just as bad. And the sad part is they sometimes even more wild. I know. Gil Hodges and Rainbow Lanes back in the 90s in areas of Brooklyn where there wasn't that many black people. Shell Lanes. Come on, man. And if you're watching and none of these names really say too much to you, trust me, back in the days, Brooklyn and Queens, New York had a ton of bowling alleys. A lot of them are closed now. But the type of stuff that goes on inside bowling alleys is just ridiculous. And the crazy part is everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody sees it because they see who you with this week. And everybody's in everybody's face. Everybody here doing whatever. And the humping is real. And then the sad part is that you do have predators, and I mean sexual predators. You do have men who mess with people's children. You do have women that mess with people's children in these bowling leagues. This is why you got to be careful bringing your children to the bowling alley if you can't pay attention to them. And that has happened, and I know for a fact. Because I've had to help one of the young ladies deal with it when her daughter got pregnant by the dude that she was living with and bowling with. And this goes on a regular basis, but the idea is that if you ever wanted to see, out on the island, we bowled at the state tournaments. It was lesbian. Yeah, there it was. And it goes on. And I mean, it's no holds barred at the Bologna tournament. Great name for a tournament with what goes on at the hotel. And you can win some bologna. Both ways. No, I'm sorry. Let me clean that up. You can actually win they give you a whole bologna to take home at the bologna tournament. Now, what you get at the hotel and what you do with that bologna when you go back to the hotel is your business. But the bologna tournament in Pennsylvania, Lebanon, Rochester in Rochester, New York, these are some of the regular bowling tournaments that are just road trips that is just get it in, go bowl, see if you can make some money, come back to the hotel, get it in, come back and act like nothing happened. And you start to learn some things about some of the people that you're bowling with that you go. And the funny thing is, now here's the thing that's funny with, like I said, if this was a reality show. Often, a lot of the women who bowl dress a certain way. You don't get to see them in like their regular clothes because women are going to be comfortable. You also have to dress a certain way. And if you guys have never been to bowling tournaments, hey, Kim, they will tell you that you got to have a polo shirt, skirt, everything has to be coordinated. Now, when you see some of these women and men in their regular clothes, you don't realize that they clean up very well. Now, add a hotel, add alcohol. You tell me what you got. And I have been bowling since 1980. And when I was younger and we used to go on these trips, and then you get older and realize that it's worse because the adults are doing the same thing. Oh, yeah. But a lot of women will dress just sexy enough that they're not uncomfortable, but enough to show off that they got a little something going. Happy hour, yeah. Harry out. There we go. Happy hour. I got you, Flex. Some women will make sure that they show just enough belly, just enough thigh, but can still bowl. And then you got something that's like, I'm showing it. Yeah, I got on this mini skirt. Yeah, I got on this top that's too tight. And I can bowl. So what? I got large. Yeah, they bend over the bowl. Oh, listen. Trust me. There's some women that are good with it. and can bowl their behinds off and still will have you looking like, woo, and some men. And then once all that's done and the equipment's up and it's to the bar, now for the next 2 hours, we're going to eat and drink and talk about bowling and then figure out how we're going to slip off while everybody's here and get it in. Now, the bowling alley that Kim and I used to bowl at, Van Wyck, had 3 levels and a large dark parking lot. Everybody could be up on level 3, you down in the basement getting it in. All 3 levels could be, men have on, well, you can't bowl in tight, well, now they do with tight pants, but there was some men out there showing the print. If all 3 levels was packed up, the staircase was on the side, a lot went on in those staircases. And then you had a bathroom on the first floor, which is where the bar was. You could get it in there. You had bathrooms on the bound floor, and then they had the parties up on the 3rd floor. And then, of course, you had the large parking lot that you would have to walk down a very dark block where you could get it in the parking lot, come back and party, which they used to have parties at the bowling alley on a regular basis. So a lot of guys would bowl, sometimes even not even go home and wash. Yeah, 3 hours in spandex, yes. Cake factory. Hot ovens. hot ovens. And it still didn't matter because they would go out into the parking lot. Spandex was the perfect get it in pants. Pull them back up. Let's go back to the bar and drink. Smelling like trout and rot gut booze. And guys didn't care. Because they sweating and everything else and you go get it in. Yes, like I said, this is what goes on a regular basis in a lot of bowling leagues and all over the country. On a regular basis. Spandex and short skirts are the attire. Men, it's always going to be sweatpants or loose polos. Smelling like, yeah, and bad Badussy at that. Especially because bowling alleys don't be having adequate air conditioning, so it's already tempered. Ooh. And the crazy part is that if you see the sweat stains under the arms, come on, fellas. Ladies, you already see him sweating through the shirt. Come on, ladies. Now, another one, not Gil Hodges, jib lanes. You got to go downstairs into a little well, but you can park way down the block near the projects. You could be down there for hours getting it in before you get to the bowling alley. Same thing. Ain't nobody washing. Yeah, this is why babies is popping up all over the place. You know what? I'm gonna make a note. I should write a fictional story about something that goes on in the bowling alley. I like that. Let me make a note of that. All right, a fictional story about what goes on in the bowling alley. I don't know. I have to figure that out. I'll come up with the premise. The things that you do, you just don't know. And I'm telling you, that would the type of documentary that if you just looked at just the things that go on centered around bowling. And then here's the best part of it all. You're making money. That's what draws people in. When you go, ew, how can people act like that? Why would people do this? Because you could walk into a bowling alley, lay down $150 and walk out with $600, $700, $800, $900. Maybe even $1,500. And one night I seen a guy make $10,000 for throwing one strike. Strike jackpots. People put their money in. If nobody strikes, it keep going up. It keep going up. I've seen a guy throw one shot, get $10,000. And so you have the side money, you have the gambling, and then you have the money that you get from coming, because these are money leagues, so you get money from being in the top spots. Just, oh, no. They're going to be real stories, but I definitely going to change the name, just like I did it from Gigolo to Jesus. If I name names, I'd be getting sued all over the place, Kim. But yeah, I would definitely, listen. But I have to give when I say a theme, I have to give a central focus of what the star or what the main protagonist is going through and what the whole point of the story is, and not just telling stories like we're telling now, but I mean something that's quality to follow. Like if you haven't read Lukewarm Saint is about a teacher from Brooklyn who loves women. Where did I live at? Brooklyn. What did I do for a living? Teaching. Good night, Tony. Thank you, baby. Have a wonderful evening. Get some rest. So I use myself as the catalyst for lukewarm saint. Thank you. I use myself as a catalyst for lukewarm saint. Even my mom said, "This is about you, right?" I said, "I'm not saying." My mom said, "You know this is about you because the grandmother and mother was me and your grandmother." I said, "If that's what you think," and that's when I know I had did something great with lukewarm saint when my mom argued with me that it was about her, me, my grandmother, and my friends. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. That's exactly how Lukewarm Saint was created. It was based on my life. Now, how much is true and how much is fiction, I'll never say. I won't tell you. I won't tell you if that principal situation was real. I won't tell you. Well, anyway, I'm going to shut up. If you have not read Lukewarm Saint, you have to read it. But yes, that might actually be a pretty good book, is to write about a guy bowling in the league, and I'll play with that. That might be something I can play with because it's something that I know. I might have to write that. That might be interesting. I have to figure out where the divots and the turns are going to be. But yeah, guys, if it's something that you didn't know, and if your man or woman is into bowling a whole lot, you might want to check. Better check. She might be going to that league every week because she making money and getting that chili pepper. He might be showing up at that league every week because he has his bowling wife and you are the wife at home. And she has her bowling husband and you are the husband at home. All depends. Trust me when I tell you. It happens more than you realize. Why am I stopping, bro? It's the truth. The truth is the truth. I haven't given any names. Listen, I know because I have been bowling since 1980. And I have experienced all that I have told you. I have seen firsthand. I am not telling you any made-up stories. I am telling you because there's not a bowling alley in New York that I had not bowled at, as well as all the bowling road trips. I don't remember a road trip that went on where sex and alcohol did not happen. And then when the UBA got into play, and I joined the UBA, a year after it opened up, so I was on Strictly Business first and then moved to Classic. And when we would go out of town, thank you, Kim. Appreciate you, dog. I'm getting ready to jump off. I'm just running off at the mouth tonight. I got some work to do for tomorrow. Man, listen. I would see things going on at some, especially Battle Bowl. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it's freaky. It's freaky, Michelle. Add 20 years. Yeah, there you go. So, Kim, you already know. And we're talking about back in Madison Square Garden bowling, Port Authority bowling, and everything else. Oh, listen. When I came up in 80, I was 13 years old, and Antoine Sinclair and I and a couple others, we bowled in a state tournament in Brooklyn, and it was bedlam. And then we went out to Belrose and bowled, and then we went up, man, listen, the Rodman tournament, Delaware, yes, another one. Everybody came down here, was getting it in right there in Wilmington. The Motel 8, man, listen. Everybody made that trip to Delaware, and then folks got slick and started staying over in Jersey, getting it in over in Jersey, then coming over to Wilmington in the morning because they didn't want anybody to know what was happening. And the reason why I know that is I used to live in South Jersey, so when I used to come down for the Rodman tournaments to watch the scratch bowlers, I would go see my family in South Jersey because I could stay there instead of paying for hotels. But when I tell you I know what folks was getting into, because folks used to be like, yo, big dog, can I stay with you at your hotel? I'm like, I'm staying with family. I'm not staying at the hotel. So trust me. And I know what hotels, because they used to ask me, because they used to say, which hotel is whatever, which one is closer. And I used to actually run down the list of, man, listen. A lot of retired folks ain't retired from other parts. They may not work anymore, but they out there piping. Male and female, yes. That's why I said you got people out here humping people's grandfathers humping people's grandkids. You literally have people's grandfathers messing around with granddaughters of people that they came up with because she 19, 20 years old. And you 60, you 70. Come on. Piping, yeah? I'm telling you. I have seen it firsthand. I have seen it where brothers who's 65, let's see, I'm 53, brothers he's got to be about 68. No, he's got to be about 66. Just had a baby about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and she can't be no more than 30. Now, you going to tell me you didn't bowl with her mom? You gonna tell me you didn't bowl with her people, and now you done had a baby with somebody who was 24, and you 61? Y'all wasn't planning on having no baby? And no, I ain't gotta name names because I'm not gonna put anybody's name out there. But I might write that story. Now y'all got me thinking about it. See, I'm gonna have to write that story. Let me see, bowling. I still gotta figure out what the theme is gonna be. I might have to have the character realize that the whole time he was looking for his father was the guy that he had to compete against. And maybe I'll have him figure out that when he's bowling for the championship, he's actually bowling against the father he didn't know. And his mother, who's in the league, had been lying to him the whole time. And then I'll put a little side things on it, something like that. I might have to have some fun with that. Because then I could have his lady actually have been somebody else's lady, but they got secrets. Yeah, okay, I could have some fun with this. Y'all see how my writing process, all I need is an idea, and then I start trying to figure it out. I don't know what the title will be yet, but I have to think about it. Yes, I might have to think about that because I might have to have it where he's a upstart, very talented bowler, come up in a bowling family, but he has no ideas of the secrets that his bowling family has, and he doesn't realize that he's never known his father, and his father used to be super nice, but he doesn't know that it's his father, but that's the dude that he really wants to bowl against because he's like, if he can beat him, then he's really made it to the top. But he don't know that the guy that he really wants to beat is the guy who's really his father. And the guy who's really his father has been knocking his mom down for a minute. And that's what caused the father. Oh, man, I got to have some fun with that. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have some fun with that one. I think I'm going to put that together because I could make it where he's done some things that he's not proud. Father bowl. Okay. Okay, now we talking. Father bowl. I don't know. I'm gonna play with that. I'm gonna come up with the idea. That's something. We can have him have a bad breakup, and he have no idea that the dude on his team is actually the reason why he broke up because he started knocking down his girl. And when she said it wasn't going to work, it wasn't because she was upset about him focusing on bowling. 10 in the pit. Okay, okay. Okay, 10 in the pit. I like that. I'm going to play with that. I like that. 7-10 split. Okay. I'm going to play with it because Moms is not going to say that she was out there loose like that because she didn't want her son to know that she was out there slinging it and that she actually didn't know. Stay off the gun. Stay out of the gun. Okay. That Moms was loose in the pants and actually didn't know that it was gutter. Okay, there we go. That was his father. And then once she figures it out, she now can't tell her son because her son has shaped his whole life around beating this guy because he's basically been the champ in the league and he's a local pro. And we could have him wanting to go head pin. Oh, head pin. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So Moms has secrets. His girl has secrets. His girl who yeah, I gotta have some Mr. 3. Mr. 300, okay. And he don't realize that members of his team have actually been with his girl, but they don't want to say nothing because he was never that because he only focused on bowling. And now that he wanted to become a part of league bowling because it didn't work out in college, he didn't realize that the whole time he's in college, his girl was getting it in. Oh, yeah, turkey. with three strikes under it, Toya. But yeah, you can have Moms have secrets. You can have the father have secrets. You can have his girl have secrets, and then you can double turkey. And then the whole idea of him getting to the championship, all this starts to unravel. And then you could put an unsavory element in it that there's a lot of side money that if now he doesn't bowl, he could catch it because the side money is like, yo, you need to beat this dude. But then he finds out that if his pops lose, his pops is going to catch it because his pop is in debt. Because the whole time, his pops wasn't really making in the dough like he thought, but he's been actually hustling and gambling Oh yeah, okay, okay. Life of a scratch ball. I feel you, Flex. But yeah, I can have some fun with this. I can have some fun with this. The mother can actually also say that, she's not going to say that he has a brother or sister that was connected to the same league, but never actually said that she had him. She gave him away because she wanted to keep bowling and she gave it to the sister. So the whole time it was his cousin is really his brother. Oh, yeah. I got to have some fun with this. And then have that same sister pass away. So the brother wound up going somewhere else. And the whole time he thought it was his cousin, he turned out to be his brother. And you can make that the stepdad's son. So basically his brother is really his stepbrother, with the father that he's going to bowl against being his father. And both of these men are both kids connected to this mom. Woo! The mother doesn't know who the father is. Yeah, but that's the thing is she didn't know about him, not the brother. She knew about the brother and gave the brother to her sister, but the sister died and the mother didn't know what happened. We could have some fun with this. Because remember, Moms was loose and Moms was out there, but she was a bowler. See, because if you guys understand bowling, you could be all left up in your personal life, but be a very good bowler. I know a young lady, her mother would actually act like she did not know her and bowl in the same league while the father was up on the next floor bowling and none of them spoke to each other. None of them spoke to each other. And that same mother forced the sister out of the house because she basically verbally and physically was abusing them, and they would bowl in the league like everything was okay. I know that personally. Have counseled that young lady years ago. Hose on the straw. I don't think I can put a book out called Hose on a Stroke. But yeah, I'm gonna play with that. I just actually wrote down that idea. Fictional story on bowling. I'm gonna play with that. That might be something. I have to come up with the idea. Not the idea. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. And I'm going to save this show, so I'm going to go back and look at it. Clean up on lane 10. When everything about your life turns out to be fake and you find out the truth, how can you focus and bowl at the same time when somebody's life depends on it? What is James going to do? 180 on 10. What is James going to do when his whole world is ripped apart when the truth unveils itself? What truth? Find out by reading, and then I'll find out what the title is. Yeah. With all the bowlers around the country, I'll make enough money just on that. But yeah, I could do that. Have the cover with the guy bowling, ball return. Ball return. I like that. Y'all gonna have me going back 1-3 pocket wham bam. Pick up your spares. See, y'all talk about I should go to bed. But no, I mean the cover would have him like a guy bowling, and you have, say, a male on one side, female on the other side, and you can have them having kind of look. We can play with that. That's actually, I can play with that because you have the same type of intrigue. The guy that he's going to bowl becomes his father. His stepfather is really the father of his cousin. And his cousin has been a supporter where they've been like brothers. They don't know that they're actually brothers. Mother didn't know. You have death. You got a little hoochiness in there. And his girlfriend, who he thought was his supporter, was really out here doing whatever. And his man that he thought was really in his corner was really been knocking down his girl and not knowing. And the whole time when he was bowling in school and trying to be whatever, there was a reason why his mom didn't want him to league bowl. And when it didn't work out in college, he came back and really put on in the league. And now he wants to go after his father, not knowing that his father, because he wants the top spot. And he's wondering why, oh man, yeah, I could have some fun with this. Okay. Mama 300. Yeah. I'm at that. That might be an interesting book, and I could base that on real stories. That's the funny thing is that I literally right now am about 30 pages in right now. 30 pages in with just things that I know for a fact. I'm gonna play with it. First, I'm gonna do some search on bowling books or whatever. Mama old right now, right? Oh yeah, Mama's old now. Yeah, she. What it is that Mom has changed her life, and the reason why she pushed her son to bowl was because she thought bowling was a way for him to get out of the environment that they were in. What she never told her son is that the reason why she's so strict about him with women because she knows what she was when she was younger, and his father was as nasty as they come. But the reason why he's the king is because he's the baddest bowler in the league, and he's a former touring pro. But the reason why he was never able to become pro was because of some side deals and some bad business that he did with folks, and he basically was banned from becoming pro because he was gambling. And so now he makes his money in leagues and side bets and action and all of that stuff like that. So his son wants to beat him because he's the baddest bowler. And yeah, she doesn't look her age. And so when you start to unpack Mom's backstory, she got with a lot of bowlers. So she did not know that the son that she gave away because she was a traveling bowler herself. And so she wanted to keep trying to be able to bowl. So she got pregnant, had the baby, gave it to her sister, and just went on about her business, only to have her sister die. And then the child get put in foster care. Mom never knew, but always thought it was a cousin. There we go. Yeah, dressed her. And that's the thing. And so, Mom always catches heat about why she dresses the way she dresses, And so the son doesn't like that her mom is that way, that she dresses that way. But when Mom explains, like, I've did my dirt, I'm good, I just like showing off a little bit. But you still have the father sneaking and knocking her down, even though she has the stepfather who's been good to him, but not knowing that the cousin is really his son. And he's always said, I wish you were my son, not knowing that the whole time his son was out there struggling. But bowling was keeping him sane, not knowing that his pops is really, his uncle is really his pops. Or the step uncle. And it all starts to come out as they come to this big competition with a lot of bread on the side. But if he beats his father could get shot up because he owes or whatever. But if he loses, then it's his life's dream down the drain to beat this man because he's always wanted, because, every time he's faced this man, he's gotten spanked, and that's the measure that he wants to learn. It's a hood story. And then the truth starts to come out. We could have Mom get sick and then tell the truth, which puts everything on in a spiral. But either way, before the big match, truth is on the table. He figures out about his girl. He learns that his boys have actually been knocking down his girl and that his girl is nasty. Oh, yeah, telling the whole book is different than reading it, bro. Trust me. I'm 5 books in. I'm a contributor to 6 other books. It's totally different than when you read it. Because this is the type of stuff that you talk about when you do a book interview, and then folks go, I got to read that. But that is an idea. I'm going to have some fun with that because, again, the backstory is why you'll read the book, Flex, is that when you learn about who the moms is and what she's done, when you learn about who the father is and what he's done, when you learn about the main character and what he's done or what he was trying to do in school and how he wasn't doing all the things that he was going to do. And actually, a little twist, you have to read it out, put it in there for you. But what you do is you can show the generational thing and shape it all around bowling. I got about 40 books inside my head, guys. Trust me. I got about 40 books in here. I'm trying to get them all out now. All right, let me get off here. I got some work to do. I got to go to the detention. I got a session at the detention center tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much. I am definitely going to give that an idea. I actually have to post it right here. I'm about to put this up. And I will put that on my list of things to write because I actually have these other books that I have to finish. Actually, they're finished. And because I can record, I'm definitely going to rock this one. I'm going to have some fun with this. I have to come up with imagination bowling lanes because I can't use any names. And I will definitely change all the names. But we're going to have some fun with this. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. If you guys are watching, go, what the hell are they talking about? Check me out. I'll fill you in. Have a wonderful night, guys. God bless. Please be safe.